What up, my loves? It is Elena, voice of Priestess Activations, and I hope everyone's doing well. It is Thursday, April the 18th, where I am recording right now. But wherever you find this message, whenever in time it is for you, if you feel connected to this video, the energy of myself and this video, stay tuned because there is a message from me for you. Your spirit guides drew you to this fucking video, this voice, for a reason. Now, I want to talk about the topic of imposter syndrome. I know you may have heard of this. For those who have not heard of it, it's this, I guess it is like a mental health condition. I don't know if it's classified as that, but it does fuck with your mental health, I swear. I am the queen of having imposter syndrome. And I have struggled with this for a very long time. And I'm noticing now as an adult, I probably have struggled. This has probably been rooted since childhood. But imposter syndrome is basically when you are so in fear or you feel paralyzed of not wanting to do the things that you want to do. Feeling like you're a fake or a phony or a fraud, depending on, even if you have all of this experience in the thing that you're feeling so deathly afraid of, and you feel so confident in knowing that subject or whatever that thing that you've been training for is. And I feel like and with imposter syndrome, you always are going to seek validation. Like you're always going to continuously seek validation. Now, I'm only speaking on my personal experience. I am not a trained mental health professional at all. I'm just speaking on my experience. And I love to listen to others' experiences because I feel like there's always value in others' experiences versus reading some shit in a book. Now, with imposter syndrome, how it was showing up in my life is, I'm going to speak on the spirituality and my business. I am highly intuitive, very intuitive. It's probably one of my strongest clairs, that just knowing shit, right? And I would do tarot readings, and sometimes I wouldn't even need to really pull a card. I can just feel the energy of what's coming through. Now, I used to think that that's some phony shit. I can't do that. I haven't been reading tarot long enough. I can't do these things. Who am I? Kind of thing. Same thing when I first started to book tarot clients and take, money for readings. That little voice would pop in like, who are you? You can't do that. You're not good enough. You haven't been reading tarot as long as these other bitches. And then it would show up like this. When you start to compare yourself to other people, the voice sounded like, that's not how you read tarot. Look how they read tarot. They're reading it differently than you. You're reading it intuitively. Is that even a thing? Can you even do that? Is that even right? And that voice becomes like your fucking enemy because it stops you from doing the thing that you want to do. Same thing happened with Reiki and all of the other healing modalities and my spiritual work, my candle spells. Everything that I do as a boss ass bruja was being blocked by myself, by my own goddamn self, by the things that I was hearing and saying to myself in my mind, okay? And then one day, I said, you know what, fuck this shit. Before I got a mentor, I realized this was a thing of mine. But having a mentor has really helped find the root cause of the issues for me and how to boss up through it. I love having a mentor, and that's one thing I will say. If you are struggling with something like imposter syndrome that you feel like you need help with, it's okay to reach out to someone and ask for help, whether that be a spiritual mentor, a coach, or you need professional help, or just a circle of friends that you deeply trust to talk about what's going on, because I bet you are not the only one struggling with this, whether you're a tarot reader, energy healer, an astrologist, a doctor, a nurse, no matter where you work, a teacher, you're always going to struggle with something, because you're always going to struggle with doubting yourself when you're wanting to do something new or change an aspect of your life. But because you're questioning it, that means that you care so much about that change or that impact of your services, the services that you're going to provide, the impact it's going to have, like you really care. And then the second thing I started to think about was, who is this voice? Who really is this voice in my head? It's not a friend. It's not a partner. It's not someone that I trust, right? Try to put a face to this voice. Would a friend really say this shit to you? Would a friend really say, don't do that. Don't post that. Don't be a tarot reader. Don't explore your gifts. Don't explore your magic. That's stupid. And if you have friends like that, cut them off, block them, delete, cancel out contracts, because you don't need people like that in your life that are going to tell you not to do something when in your heart, authentically, you got to do it. That's another thing. If it is in your heart, and this is something you have true intentions on doing, go for it. Because that little voice in your head trying to stop you, that's just our ego, honestly. It's the ego basically saying, you can't do that. You can't do that spiritual work. That's not something we've been programmed to think about and to do. We've been programmed in a colonial system. We got to do colonized, capitalizing shit. You can't do this. So yeah, struggling with imposter syndrome is such a it's a bitch. It sucks. It makes you feel trapped in your own. It's like the 8 of Swords moment. 8 of Swords, where you're mentally trapped in a cage of you putting yourself in limited beliefs. You put your blindfold on, and then you got all these mental swords around you, but you could take that blindfold off and walk around the swords and through that cage, out of that cage. So aside from, having a mentor and then building a community, a safe space of women that I trust, that I've talked about this, we all struggle. Even my mentor has struggled too. We're not fucking perfect, right? So other than suggesting, use your discernment when you reach out for a mentor, shit, I'm a mentor, reach out to me. No, I'm kidding. But aside from that, journaling, meditation, mindfulness, reframing that mindset, not beating yourself up for, when you slip back and feel yourself in that negative state. Just take care of your mind however you can. Be patient with yourself. This is a hard journey, and imposter syndrome, I feel like, is always going to creep up here and there. So just, be gentle with yourself through this process, and find journal prompts that could help you with identifying the root cause of this issue. Like, example, for me, it's more of childhood, more of not having that support in doing new things, not having the support in exploring my creativity, not having that support system where I could go to talk to someone about, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I really want to do this thing, but I'm feeling this kind of way. I've noticed for me, myself personally, I grew up doing a lot of things on my own, dealing with challenges on my own, dealing with trauma, anxiety, depression, all on my own. And so as an adult, I've learned to deal with with life on my own without asking for help. And that is something that I still struggle with till this day. I am very self-aware of that. But the times I do ask for help, it is so rewarding. It feels so good. There's so many people in our lives around us that are ready to help us. We, can be stubborn and hard-headed, and just based off of how we've grown up and our experiences, sometimes we shut down and we have a hard time asking for help. I know this message is for someone out there, especially for me, but one thing I'm learning is it is beautiful and so helpful, and it just relieves so much stress of your life, and you feel that support. You're opening yourself up slowly to receiving, because when you're blocking yourself from receiving the help, even just help, okay? Because behind help is the action of love, right? From that person that's helping you. Blocking that help is going to block you from love and block you from receiving other abundance in your life. And that's something that I've noticed personally with that. But I just want to encourage you to continue shining your light. Don't let imposter syndrome block you from showing up in the world and doing the shit that you want to do. Social media can be a bitch, and it can make you feel like you have to have a certain aesthetic or a certain look, or you have to read tarot a certain way or show up a certain way. But that's all bullshit and just programmed thinking of how society is, that colonized patriarchal shit where you have to have a pretty aesthetic to have a business that succeeds. And that's bullshit. It's people nowadays are looking for authenticity, for truth, for realness, real vibes, right? Not no fake whitewash, watered down bullshit. You know, we need the truth. Just like our ancestors were the truth. Our ancestors were indigenous. Our ancestors were real. They were the most authentic. And that is the energy that I bring behind priestess activations, is authenticity. And I love to bring that out of people, and I love to see the best in people. What they don't see in themselves, I love to pull that shit out. And I feel like that's an important trait to have when you're looking for a mentor or a coach, someone that's going to hype you up when you can't be hyped, when you can't hype yourself up. And that is one thing with imposter syndrome, is it does help having someone in your corner hyping you up and helping you through imposter syndrome, so that you can push forward, move forward, and continue to showcase your light or get out of your shell or your comfort zone. Because we all know staying in our comfort zone is a natural block. I'm going to end it with a card pull for y'all. Let's see what card is coming up for us to give us some light or advice on imposter syndrome from our spirit guides here. I love this. We have the Lovers card. And for this